Okay, welcome everyone, and thanks for coming. If you don't know me already, my name is Peter Malec, and I'm the director for Mount Baker Youth Basketball. Before we get started, I want to thank everyone for coming and volunteering, being a part of our community. Without all of you guys, it wouldn't be possible to have a youth basketball program. So what I'd like to talk about today is something that I'm pretty passionate about. And I'm hoping that by sharing my experiences with you and what I've learned about coaching, that I can save you guys some of the pain that I suffered through as a first-time coach, and that we can make this season the most successful and best season possible. What I'm going to talk about today is success and what success means at the youth level. We live in a society where winning is everything. And this is what I was taught when I was a kid. It wasn't always a conscious message, but it was an obvious one. It was a message that was handed down by coaches, by parents, by television, by our peers, and it was the culture surrounding competition. And because of this message, I was never fully happy with anything but first place. Failure was not an option. You see, I needed the praise of others to feel good about myself. And it was like a drug, and I had to have it to feel good. A drug that I could only get through the acceptance of others. What I lacked was self-confidence. And I allowed the outcome of the game to define my success. And this is a stigma that it continued into adulthood for me. And when I began coaching, I took the same mindset into coaching. Because of my own insecurity as a new coach, I needed to win to prove that I was a good coach. I was afraid to lose, and I was afraid of what others might think. The first team that I coached had a lot of success early on, even though this had more to do with the talent on my team than me as a coach. And the more we won, the more fear I had of losing. And eventually, I was coaching to not lose. I wasn't having fun. I wasn't coaching for the love of competition. I was coaching to prove something. And it was more about me than what was best for my team. I had unrealistic expectations. I expected my team to win. I expected them to win to prove that I was a good coach and a successful coach. I put a lot of pressure on my team, and it wasn't fair to them. It was a high-stress situation, and we were all afraid to make mistakes. I coached angry, and I was disillusioned because my team wasn't where I thought they should be. And I took it out on everyone around me. You see, anger is the result of when how you think it should be isn't the same as how it actually is. So I openly showed my disappointment and my disapproval of my team. And it was not always the best environment for growth and learning. I was teaching my team a terrible lesson, that their best wasn't good enough. And if their best wasn't good enough for them, how is it supposed to be good enough for me? Or if their best wasn't good enough for me, how was it supposed to be good enough for them? As a coach, you wield incredible power. Your team looks up to you. They look up to you for approval. They want to know if they're good enough. And you answer this question by the way that you react to their performance and to them. Being a coach is also a great responsibility. You are entrusted with the greatest resource of this planet, our children. In fact, I would argue that being a youth coach is a more important job than being a CEO of a Fortune 500 company. Because after all, what do? Produce a better product, make money for shareholders. And what do you guys do as coaches? You have an opportunity to affect the life of someone forever. They could go on to make huge impact on the world. you have an opportunity to help someone to believe in themselves. And you do this with your encouragement and with your discouragement, with your happiness and your unhappiness with them, with your body language. Be aware of what you're communicating to your team. And when you yell and get angry and frustrated, what you're saying is that you're not good enough. You're not successful. And it is time that we embrace a new definition of success. This is not the NBA. This is youth basketball for kids. For us, success is not determined by wins and losses, but by three things. The first measure of success is our effort. Effort is putting everything you have into everything you do. It's doing your best and having no regrets because you know that you gave 100%. The second measure of success is becoming better, improving, and learning from our mistakes. Nobody is perfect, especially from the get-go. The second measure, we learn the fastest when we're free to make mistakes. This is how we turn failure into success, by turning a mistake into an opportunity for growth. The final part of success, and the most important, is having fun, taking joy and participation. After all, isn't this the purpose of life? To enjoy it, to be happy, to be fulfilled, to be content, to be okay with who we are and where we are. It doesn't mean that we don't want to be better. We all want to be better. I want to be better. You want to be better. But if we're truly happy, isn't that better than all the victories in the world, all the wealth in the world, all the power in the world, all the fame and recognition in the world? Because none of those things can give you peace of mind, inner contentment, and self-confidence. Only you can give yourself these things. How is this achieved? It's achieved by knowing that you're doing your best, and that your best is always good enough. By knowing that you're improving, and that your attitude is positive. Only one person can be the best, but everyone can be their best, which is always good enough, because it's all that you can do. No more and no less. As a coach, you have an opportunity to help someone else believe in themselves. To understand that our own happiness is not determined by the score of a game or by the approval of others. This is the difference between internal motivation and external motivation. This is self-reliance. It is knowing that I don't rely on anyone else for my own happiness and contentment. The single most important thing in helping a child to become successful is helping them to realize that their effort and their attitude are what determines if they will be successful or not. With the right effort and the right attitude, nothing is unachievable. Because after all, that is all that we control, our effort and our attitude. And that is what we need to reward our kids for their effort and their attitude. Not by the things that are beyond our control. We don't control our opponents. We don't control the referees. We don't control our teammates. We don't even control our own athletic ability or the adversity that we face. But what we do control is how we choose to react to that adversity, how we choose to act. We take control of our own effort and our own attitude. This is how we take control of our lives. As a coach and an example to your team, you are showing them how to handle adversity through your attitude and your actions. Do you get mad and frustrated? Do you blame the referees? Do you take out your frustrations on your opponents or your team or even yourself? Or do you choose to stop being angry and frustrated by the things in life that you can't control? To start taking responsibility for you and for what you do control. To choose to stop being a victim to circumstance. Are you that weak that you'll allow others to control you? Or will you take responsibility for your emotions, your attitude, and your actions? Will you choose who you want to be and not let anything or anyone get in the way of that success. As the leader of your team is a reflection of you. What does that reflection look like? Are you clear with your expectations? Are you committed to your team? Are you positive? Are you having fun? Are you organized? Or are you angry and frustrated? Are you hard on yourself? In all likeliness, your team will embody you and your attitude towards success and competition. Your definition of success will be theirs. Your joy will be theirs. Your failure will be their failure. If it's important to you, it'll be important to them. A quote I often discuss with my team is, "How I play the game is how I live my life," because I find it to be incredibly true. Are you encouraging? Are you doing your best? Are you having fun? Are you excited to learn? Do you have a good attitude? Or are you beating yourself up? Are you being a slacker? Does your attitude suck? Because the odds are, whatever success and failure that you're having on the court, you're also having off the court. So might it also be true that how I coach the game is how I live my life. So I would like to challenge everyone here to take a good look at themselves and decide if there's anything that they would like to do different. Because of the intensity and the competitive nature of youth sports, we end up forming lasting memories. None of us will ever forget our own experiences with youth sports. The excitement of the game has a profound emotional impact. Emotional impact is the basis for forming lasting memories. It's a product of heightened senses and heightened adrenal activity. And this is why it's so important to be aware of what we are communicating to our team during competition. This intensity can also bring out the worst in people. Where else do you see grown men and women fighting over a child's game? Meanwhile, our kids are taking it all in, storing it in their permanent memory bank. So as a coach, much is asked of you. You're asked to rise above the negativity, to be an example, to be a role model, to deal with unreasonable parents, players, coaches, referees, and situations, to mentor other people's children and teach them right from wrong. And all this with no financial compensation, no instruction, no manual, and quite often without even a thank you. So, why do we coach? When I started coaching, I wasn't very clear on why I was coaching. I had no idea of what to expect, or what I would learn, or how I would be affected, or how much I would gain through this experience. But what I've learned is that what I put into my team and into my kids, I receive back tenfold. And I've had the opportunity to witness the transformation of my team into confident, passionate, and dedicated people who are enthusiastic about competing and taking on their own life. My proudest moment of coaching came in a game that we lost. And it was a game that we had no business competing in. We were outcoached, we were outskilled, we were smaller, and we had less experience. But we competed, and we took the game to overtime. And we played our hardest and we played our best. And I was proud because they had given their all and they'd done their best. To watch my team embrace what I'd been teaching for years was my reward. To see the distance we had traveled, to see the growth in each and every member of my team, that was my reward. And it was something that no one can take away from me. And it was something that I'll carry with me for the rest of my life. And that experience is something that my team will carry with them. They will still have those memories long after they stop playing basketball. And they will still carry the lessons that we learned and they will forever be affected. And that is why I coach. Thank you guys very much.